Chapter 17. Distinguishing Three Kinds of Faith. Arjuna said, those who discarding scriptural knowledge sacrifices filled with faith, what is their position, Krishna? Is it goodness, emotion, or darkness? The Blessed Lord said, triple is the faith of the embodied. It is essential. Goodness, emotion, and darkness. Thus hear of this. The faith of each becomes according to the form of goodness. The spirit is made of faith. Whoever has the faith, which is this. The good sacrifice to the gods, the emotional to spirits and demons, and others, the men of darkness, sacrifice to the dead and ghosts. Those people who undergo terrible austerities not ordained by scriptures join with egotistical hypocrisy, along with desire, rage, and force, tormenting the organs within the body, and unconscious of me inside within their body, know them to be demonic in their resolves. But food also preferred by each becomes triple as sacrifice, austerity, and charity. Hear the distinction of these, promoting life, goodness, strength, health, happiness, and satisfaction, flavorful, juicy, substantial, and heavy foods are liked by the good. Pungent, sour, salty, hot, spicy, dry, burnt foods are wanted by the emotional, causing pain, misery, and sickness. Spoiled, tasteless, putrid, stale, and what is rejected, as well as the unclean, is the food liked by the ignorant. Scripture ordains sacrifices, which is offered by those not desiring the fruit, offering thus with the mind focus. This is good, but having in view the fruit and also hypocritical purpose brought to know this sacrifice of which it is offered is emotional. Scriptures discarded, foods unoffered, sacred words discarded, no price paid, devoid of faith, they regard as ignorant sacrifices. Revering the divine, the twice-born, the teacher, the wise, purity, virtue, continence, and non-violence is called the austerity of the body. Non-disturbing speech, true, pleasant, beneficial, and which practices reciting sacred texts is called speech-making austerity. Mental clarity, kindness, silence, self-control, purity of being. This is called mental austerity. This triple austerity practiced with the highest faith by people, united by not desiring fruit they regard as good, and austerity was done with hypocrisy for the sake of honor, respect, and reverence hereunder. This is said to be emotional, insecure, impermanent. Austerity which is done with the torture of self, with a deluded notion, or for the purpose destroying another, that is said to be dark. The gift which is given as being given to one who does no favor at the proper place and time, and to a worthy person, this gift is considered good. But that which is given for the sake of reward, or again with a view to the fruit, or unwillingly, that gift is considered emotional. That gift which is given in the wrong place and time to the unworthy, disrespectful, and with contempt is said to be dark. Tat Sat is considered the triple symbol of God. By this, the priests and the Vedas and the sacrifices were anciently ordained. Therefore, acts of sacrifice, charity, and austerity always begin by uttering Om. As proclaimed in the precepts of the expounders of God, sang and taught without interest in the fruit. Acts of sacrifice, austerity, and various charities are done by those desirous of liberation. In meeting truth and in meeting goodness, the sot is used. In praise, also in action, the sound sot is used, prata. In sacrifice, austerity, and charity, steadiness is called sat. And again, related to this, likewise designated sat, an offering given or an austerity practiced and done, which is without faith, is said to be false prata, and that nothing to us here or hereafter. According to the search results, this chapter is called the Yoga of the Threefold Divisions of Faith. In this chapter, Krishna analyzes the three types of faith corresponding to the three modes of material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. He explains how one's faith determines one's food preference, worship practice, austerities, charities, and ultimate destination. In this chapter, there are 28 verses. The main points of the chapter are: Arjuna asks Krishna about those who worship with faith, but disregard the injunctions of the scripture. He wants to know what mode of nature their faith belongs to. Krishna replies that everyone has some kind of faith according to their innate nature. He says that whatever one's faith is, that one's real identity. He says those in the mode of goodness worship the celestial gods. Those in the mode of passion worship the demigods and demons. And those in the mode of ignorance worship ghosts and spirits. Krishna says that different kinds of food appeal to different types of people according to their modes of nature. He says that sattvic food is fresh, juicy, nourishing, and pleasing to the heart. He says that rajic food is bitter, sour, salty, spicy, dry, and burning. He says that tamasic food is stale, tasteless, putrid, rotten, and impure. Krishna said that different kinds of yajna sacrifices are performed by different kinds of people according to their modes of nature. He says that satya yaga is being performed with faith and without any desire for personal benefit. He says that rajna is performed with faith, with desire for personal benefit or show. He says that tamastic ranja is performed without faith and without following any rules or scripture. Krishna says that different kinds of austerities are performed by different kinds of people according to their modes of nature. He says that sacrifices can be divided into three categories: physical, verbal, and mental. He says that physical tapa, sacrifice, involves worshiping God, the Brahmins, the Guru, and the wise, cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, and nonviolence. He says that verbal tapas involves speaking truthfully, kindly, beneficially, and in a pleasing manner, and reciting the sacred scriptures. He says that mental tapa involves cultivating serenity, gentleness, silence, self-control, and purity of mind. Krishna says that sattvic tapa is performed with faith and without any desire for personal benefit. He says that rajic tapa is performed with faith, but with desire for personal benefit or for show. He says that tamasic tapa is being performed without faith and with self-torture or harm to others. Krishna says that different kinds of charity are performed by different kinds of people according to their modes of nature. He says that sattvic dana is given with faith and without any expectation of return at a proper place and time, and to a worthy person who does not reciprocate. He says that Raji Tapa is given with faith, but also with a desire for personal benefits or for show or reluctantly. He says that Tamasic Datta is given without faith and with contempt at a proper place and time and to an unworthy person who reciprocates. Krishna explains the significance of the words Om Tat Sat as expressions of the absolute truth. He says that Om denotes God as the supreme controller and enjoyer. Tat denotes God as the supreme goal. Sat denotes God as the supreme existence. He says that these words are used to satisfy one's action, such as yajna, tapa, and dana. Krishna concludes by saying that any action performed without faith is called asal or unreal. Such actions is useless in this life and the next. But any action performed with faith, according to one's nature, is called sat or real. Such action leads to perfection in this life and the next.